Who's it gonna be? This is it, Lamar! Oh my God! My brain's gonna explode. My brain's gonna explode. There's something sinister afoot, absolutely.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to the Slightly Biased show here at Haymaker Studio. I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. I guess the holiday is still continuing. I don't know. I don't really count the New Year's, to be honest with you. It's just another day. But you want to know it's not another day? Texas Tech, baby. Couple days away. Texas Tech. Big time game against Oregon. Hey, make sure you guys are staying. Make sure you guys are watching. Make sure you guys are tuning in. We got a busy show today. A lot of news around the league with the Jokic injury, obviously, which seems like we dodged a major bullet there as NBA fans. I'm going to go over some of my predictions from last year. And hey, they're impressive. I just have to say this. They're impressive. I forgot we did this. It's impressive what we went on. Okay? Yeah, well, you need to take note. Take notes on Texas Tech. Write down. I want a full dissertation on what happened in that game the next time we're live after that. Okay? I want to hear from all of you guys what happened verbatim. Okay? And I'm also going to give you guys my goals and predictions for 2026. We've got only a few more hours left in year of our Lord 2025. What an unbelievable year it was. Yeah. Tomorrow, we will be live, same time, right here. Nick and Isaac will be joining us. We're going to three-man weave it here at the Slightly Biased show at the Haymaker Network here in beautiful downtown. I'm not telling you where it is. You guys can subscribe to the Haymaker Network. The link in the description down below. More content coming up in the near future there. My show's over there as well. There's already tons of stuff. Dirk got interviewed on there. You know, John Daniels. Some interesting information there. Nick Van Exel. No, not Nick Van Exit, which is Nick Angstad's Twitter handle. Nick Van Exel. Cowboys stuff. That's over and done with. Thank God. Thank God. Right? And it's also on all platforms, audio platforms, including my show. I learned this last week. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the audio files, those of you who love audio formats, there you go. It's available for you. So subscribe, like wherever you like. Like this stream right now, folks. Like it, subscribe. Let's get right into it. I guess we'll start here. Mavericks, Blazers last night. Talk of the town, frankly. Everywhere you go in NBA circles, everybody's talking about Mavs Blazers from last night. It's one of the most consequential games of this millennia. God, this team's just becoming so boring. And that's just the harsh truth. With no Anthony Davis, they're the same team. Every single game is the exact same. Every single one. They start the game so slow. They shoot 23s. Maybe they make 3 of them. Maybe they have a decent shooting night and make 6. I say that. Last night they went 11 of 30 from 3, so which is very good for them. And that's not good, but that's very good for them. They're just a boring team right now. And to their credit, they put it together in the second half of games and come back. You know, it wasn't a great Cooper Flagg game. 6 of 20 from the field. I thought he did a lot of other stuff well over the course of the game. You know, he did have 8 assists, 5 turnovers, though, to be fair. Only 1 live turnover, so some offensive fouls. One of them wasn't his fault. He was cutting baseline and got a pass and was standing out of bounds when he got it. So, yeah, right now the Mavs' big problem is beyond injuries. You know, it's easy to forget that they're missing 3 of their 4 best players most nights with AD, Kyrie, and Lively out. But their guard play is just – there's a big problem, okay? B-Will was great last night. He was fantastic. 22 points, was getting to the rim. His ability to get into the paint is so important for this team because they can kick out and they can play off of that. It's much needed. When the rest of these guys sort of lack that creation juice, it's nice to have somebody who's able to get in the paint as much as they are. Nembhard and Brandon Williams combined to shoot 2 threes, and they made 0 of them, right? And B-Will shot 0. So in 2025, going on 2026, guys, 2026 is 48 hours away, okay? Make sure you guys write that down. Make sure you guys are fully aware that 2026 is only 48 hours away. Completely different year, completely different vibes, okay? You got to shoot threes. You got to shoot threes. And Kyrie coming back is going to help this team out so much. It's going to look like a completely different team when Kyrie Irving is back. And I'm excited to see it. They'll be much better They will be much better when Kyrie Irving returns. They will look like a completely different functioning basketball team because they don't have a single player on their roster who can even somewhat emulate what Kyrie Irving is able to do. So that's going to help out so much. It's going to help out Cooper Flag because instead of constantly getting guarded by the Toumani Kamaras of the world, and maybe Toumani Kamara would have stuck Cooper Flag anyways last night. Sadie Sissoko probably would have guarded Kyrie. But Cooper Flag gets maybe the second best defender on any given night. And Kyrie gets the best. And that helps out our young GOAT. Okay? Because the game was on the cock. It's on a nationally streamed game. 6 of 20. Like, we've got agendas to push. We've got stuff to push. We've got propaganda to spread. We need better performances, okay? It is what it is. And the last play of the game, kind of a big topic of conversation, Cooper Flag, Mavs down 1 with, about 8 seconds left. Cooper Flag drives, draws 2 guys, kicks out to a wide open Najee Marshall who misses the 3. There's been a lot of talk about this play. I honestly think it was the right choice. Let me see if I can pull up this play actually using what the NBA calls the advanced box scores, guys. This is a way that you can pull up plays. And if you didn't know, now you know. And actually, you don't need anything for it. It's actually kind of crazy. You don't need any subscription or league pass to pull up. You can watch like every shot a player shoots. This Najee Marshall 3. Hard to find a better look than that, you know? You think the Mavs make playoffs? They're 10 games below 500. 10. 1-0. 10 games below 500. Can we pull up this shot? Is that possible? 11 seconds left. I mean, drive, Coop. Look at all the attention that goes Coop's way. Najee's wide open for 3. That's a shot you have to live with. I know Najee Marshall isn't a good three-point shooter, 31, 32% from 3. But that's a shot you're happy with in this moment. And maybe Najee could have swung this to Christie in the corner. And Max Christie was phenomenal last night, so maybe that's what you're looking at when you're watching the film of this play, saying, "Hey, we got to swing that extra pass to the corner. That's a wide open corner 3 for our best 3-point shooter, right?" But this isn't a bad shot. There's nobody within 10 feet of him. So all of the talk about Coop maybe not passing out of this, I don't know, bro. Sharp's done a pretty good job sticking him, and he's got an angle there. But Klingon's a true 7-footer, and he's coming over to help. Toumani Kamara's a good defender, and he's got good positioning. Like, you know, I don't know. I think that's a good play by your 19-year-old rookie in that moment. As a great man once said, don't let us get hot. That's true. Don't let the Mavs get hot. Don't let them get hot. I mean, they're only, 3 games out of the play-in, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just... whatever with this team at this point. The only thing that kind of sucks to me is outside of watching Cooper Flag, they've just been so boring as of late. And that's the biggest sin. For a basketball team, that is the biggest sin. I don't want you to be boring. I want you to be fun and exciting. Okay? Watch the Jazz. They're fun and exciting. We're just so boring. It's just so boring. So boring. Denver in a free fall, the Mavs are making it to the playoffs. True, Denver and the Mavs might swap places here. What are the Nuggets here? This is a good segue into our next talking point, which is the Jokic injury. What's the Nuggets are what, the 2 seed right now? Or are they the 3 seed? Yeah, Denver's right now 22-10 as the 3 seed. I could see the Mavs swapping places with them. Yeah, Mavs are only 11.5 games back of the Nuggets. I could see that, actually. I could see that 100%. Yeah, Thunder kind of faltering as of late. The 1 seed's realistically not out of the realm of possibility for Dallas. Just got to start winning some games. Just got to start winning some games, and then maybe it's possible. So we'll see. We'll see if it ends up working out for him. The big news from the night, Jokic, knee injury in the last play of the first half in this game against the Miami Heat, and I'm about to sneeze. And it went away. It's back. And now it's gone.
Bless you.
Thank you. Preemptively. This injury looked scary, and then we listened to some of the Twitter doctors, and I told you guys on last night's stream, I just had a busy week, so I haven't been able to study my medical books and my studies and stuff like that. So to me, I thought the injury looked as though the tendon, you saw a clear sort of buckle in the pectoral tendon area that would have led to a tear. And that's what I was a little bit scared of. But listening to some of the Twitter doctors, they said they weren't overly worried about it. And thankfully, it does sound like we have skirted disaster here. This was Shams from earlier. Just in, Denver Nuggets Nikola Jokic has been diagnosed with hyperextension in his left knee and will miss at least 4 weeks. An immense sigh of relief as tests show the 3-time NBA MVP's knee ligaments are intact. So still, I mean, missing at least 4 weeks, obviously. 4 times 7 is 28. So that's nearly a month of action at the very least. And then we're talking about a ramp-up period following that. This is obviously a pretty big blow. 4 weeks is probably taking him out of MVP contention, I would say, completely, right? I'm not sure. He's played every single game up until this point, so I'm not sure if he'll be like not qualified. I don't know if this amount of time takes him out of the 65 game minimum. It might. I'm actually not sure about that. 18th game to eliminate him from MVP, so we'll see. He's January 30th. Okay, so there you go. And then on top of that, the Nuggets obviously have to weigh, do we risk him playing 65 games when he comes back? Like, let's say he's ready to come back by then, and he's like right at the threshold, and he can only miss one more game the rest of the year to qualify for end-of-season awards. For them, they're still trying to win a championship this year. So it probably makes sense to still kind of be careful with Jokic's ramp-up and resting him games, resting him back-to-backs, maybe even slowing down the ramp-up process. Hey, maybe they win some games and they're not falling in the standings, and now it just becomes, we don't care about anything else, just have Jokic ready to go come March. And if that means he ends up missing 20 games, right, then so be it. So, yeah, I think also on top of that, that's probably in an MVP race that did look like it was shaping up to be one of the tightest ones in a while. Missing that many games is just going to knock you out of it, right? It's just, and I'm actually interested right now what the odds are for MVP. I'd have to guess Shea has now become a ginormous favorite. A ginormous favorite. Oh my goodness. Shea is now, dude, this is crazy. Shea is now minus 425 to win MVP. I'm actually curious when the last time there was someone was this heavy a favorite in December to win MVP. 425 is crazy. You'd have to bet $100. You'd have to bet $425 to win 100. Luka is now second at plus 430. Then you have Cade, Brunson, Wemby, Tyrese Maxey. Now, if I were a betting man and I'm playing the odds, right? If I were just to say, oh, what's one of these guys that I'd bet on? Wow, they took Jokic off completely. Okay. Jaylen Brown at plus 25,000. Huh. Jaylen Brown at plus 25,000. Good thing you're sitting down talking about this. Yeah, man. Shea's well on his way to back-to-back MVPs. I mean, just another slightly biased win. Slightly early once again. But it does suck because this was gearing up to be one of the best MVP races in quite some time. And now it is, by the way, Cooper Flagg is now minus 600 to win Rookie of the Year. So some of these MVP races are looking a little bit, or these award races are looking a little bit, dude, imagine going back to 2020 and all of the things that you thought would happen over the next 5 or so years. Imagine going back to then and telling yourself, yeah, Jokic wins multiple MVPs in the next 5 years, as does Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Jeez. Yeah, Jokic had become the favorite to win MVP over the last week or so, a couple of weeks, with the Thunder kind of losing some games and Jokic having some monster performances, especially on Christmas night, which was what? I think I saw a stat. That was by game score. That was like the 4th best game of all time or something like that. Luka's 72-point game was number 2. Second best game ever by game score. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, so I have to be real. I can't imagine. I guess you're basically voting. If you're not picking Shea MVP at this point and you're betting on anybody else, you are quite literally betting on a Shea injury. Knock on wood, but that's what you're betting on at this point in time. Because there's not a single person below him that would have any argument whatsoever. And now with, like, Jokic had one, obviously, but now with his injury, that's off the table completely. There's no way Luka wins MVP if SGA stays healthy at this point. I mean, not this year, no. Not this year. There'll be a year, though. I still think Luka will probably have a Kobe-like career in that sense, where maybe he just gets one MVP, but it's kind of goes forgotten in time, and you just remember, yeah, Luka. He was great. All-time great. Only won one MVP. Did you know that? Like, that's how I sort of envision Luka's career playing out. So anyways, happy at the very least that Jokic is not going to be out for the year, right? So you guys say January 30th is that 4-week mark, or that's the last game he can miss before he's out of the race entirely. That's enough time where I almost wonder if they just go All-Star break with him, right? Because at that point we're only talking a couple weeks. And again, if they win games, they've built themselves a bit of a cushion. They have built themselves a tiny bit of a cushion so far, 22-10. And if they have enough talent, Jamal Murray's good enough that they'll win games between now and then. But this obviously is great news for the league that he's going to be able to come back, and hopefully he's back to Jokic because, I think we're going to have a unbelievable Western Conference playoff. And if Jokic was out and the Nuggets were out, well, then that changes the dynamic completely. So anyways, that was a difficult injury. Nuggets Thunder round 1. Let's go. I don't think they're going to go with that. I don't think they're going to go that far down, but I actually do think, and we'll talk about this here in a second, I actually do think we might get some 4-5 stuff. Chances of Joker coming back before Kyrie. No, I really do think Kyrie comes back in January. And I got a couple different reasons for that. One, I think he's pretty close to ready. Two, I do think that there's gonna be a concerted effort by the Mavericks to say, hey, we want to see Kyrie, AD, and Cooper Flag. We've got the February trade deadline. Teams might be calling us about AD. We're interested, but we at least owe it to ourselves to look at that trio. We've never seen it. We've seen AD and Kyrie play for 3 quarters. Okay? January's in a few days. That's true, actually. Guys, January's on only a few days. So think about that, all right? Think about that for a second. Okay. With that in mind, I love doing this last year. And whenever I say I love doing this last year, I forgot I did this last year. But it popped up in my Google Drive. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I made 2025 predictions and goals. So I thought it'd be fun to look back on some of these right now and then give my 2026 predictions and goals. And you guys will see with the predictions, flawless. I mean, spot on. Spot on. And you guys are going to start to respect me a little bit more. You guys come in here and get your jokes off. Like, it's all funny. I get it. I'm the streamer. Like, people say that I'm one of the greatest of all time when it comes to taking a joke and letting that sort of bounce off of me. I'm so humble and gracious like that. So, like, I get all of that. You guys like to come in here and make fun of me. Just wait until you see this. Hello, Unc. Should I have hope if Luka wins today? Have hope of what? All right, let's look at our 2025 goals and predictions. My personal goals. Well, first one's actually a little depressing. Playback top 5 channel on site by year's end. Whoops. Now, honestly, I don't know. Is that true, maybe? I never saw the numbers. And now that it's gone completely, we can just actually check that as a win. Okay? Let's mark that as a win, everybody. Rest in peace, Playback, of course. Rest in peace. Stop falling for trolls so easily. I don't know. I think I did a pretty good job on this one. What do you guys think? I think I knocked that one out the park. I mean, it's dead. Exactly. Playback is. I think I've become. Actually, you know what? We're gonna mark this as an L. I can't help myself. There's no way I'll ever stop falling for trolls. No way. YouTube, 50,000 subscribers. Okay. Focus more on evergreen long form content. Okay. Maybe next year. Slightly early. Stick to a strict schedule. We didn't do that. Let's just be honest with ourselves, right? And honestly, I'm blaming the ankle injury. The ankle injury just derailed everything. New weekly Bleacher Report show. What did I mean by this? But you know what? I am on Bleacher Report. Did you guys even know that? I am, by the way, on the Mavericks tab. Boom. There you go. I did that. Collab with other creators more. I think I'd say I did that. I think I'd say that was a win. Twitter, use it much less. This is actually a big win. I'm hardly ever on Twitter anymore. So that one was a success. Read a book a week. What the fuck was I thinking with that goal? I mean, what was going through my mind that I thought that was going to happen? Was I being performative? I don't know.
A book a week?
A book a week, yes. That doesn't... I'm capable of doing it, but...
What kind of books?
I'm a nonfiction guy.
Okay.
I don't read any fiction. Maybe that's a part of my problem with books is all of my books are horribly depressing that I read. Horribly depressing. Usually about the American empire and colonialism and imperialism and racism. So maybe that's why. A book a week is crazy, especially with your schedule. Yeah. So what I thought I would do is read maybe like wake up and read, 50 pages in the morning and then go about my day. And that probably is enough to read a book a week. But I honestly don't know if I read more than 3. So there you go. Reach, set up merch shop. No, I did that. That's actually a huge win on my end. Boom. Net worth improved from 7.9 million to 14 plus million. Massive win. I mean, guys, I can't get into the details of it, but massive win. Try to play basketball 2 to 3 times a week. Do I count this as a loss? Because I would have easily succeeded in this mission had it not been for one of the most gruesome ankle injuries in LA fitness history that I recovered from in record timing. So in some ways, I almost take this as a win.
You get a red shirt.
Okay, I'll redshirt this. So this will go as a gray area. A win this year's Mavs Twitter tournament. So here's the thing, guys. The Mavs Twitter tournament got canceled because everybody quit the Mavericks after the Luka trade. I'm not kidding. That's exactly why it happened. Because nobody gave a fuck about the Mavericks anymore. Nobody who set up the Mavs Twitter tournament liked the team any longer. I'm not joking. That's why this tournament did not happen this year. Now, I wouldn't have been healthy enough to play, right, is the problem. But with that being said, based off of my team's performance last year, I easily think we would have won it. So I'm counting this as a soft win, only because, again, I do think we would have won this year had this taken place. Okay? How long did it take you to recover? About a couple weeks. Have a sick new setup by the start of the 25-26 season. Well, I'm actually going to count that as a soft win because I have this, but that's not what I was talking about. But that's not it. I mean, look at this. Okay, we're going to count that as a win. We're going to count this one as a win. So the ankle injury was inevitable this year, either at the gym or in the tournament. Maybe, I guess. Healthily down to 215. All right, let's get into my predictions. Here we go. Guys, this is crazy. This is crazy how accurate some of these were. All right. Predictions. Celtics weird year continues. Upset in playoffs. Knicks, but maybe Cavs. Obviously, they lost to the Knicks in the second round. Jason Tatum tears his Achilles. Boom. Big W. We're counting that as a... Well, let me rephrase that. I wasn't saying Jason Tatum tearing his Achilles was a big W, but I was saying my prediction was a big W. Boom. SGA ends up winning MVP comfortably. Wemby finishes top 3. I don't remember how comfortable was it. What was the voting looking like on that one? But this one was a win. Wemby did not finish top 3 in MVP voting, but he didn't qualify. And he became a DVT brethren of mine, which, again, I wasn't fully aware that was going to happen to me. Alex Sarr ends up winning Rookie of the Year. No. I don't hate my logic there, though. Thunder make a big trade deadline trade, win the finals. Well, they did win the finals. Did they make a move at the trade deadline this past year? I don't think they made one single move, did they? Kind of rare teams do absolutely nothing at the trade deadline, but I think they did. Mavericks Nuggets play in one of the... yeah. This is just sad. Let's boom. Mavericks Nuggets play in one of the best series of the decade. Luka finishes series averaging 37 points per game. Yeah, okay. All right. We can move on from that. NBC and Amazon have incredible start to their coverage. I think this is a clear W. They've been great. Had some gripes last night with the fact that we're 15 minutes past scheduled tip-off time. Game starting at 9:30 because it's on the fucking West Coast, and they're still doing player intros. And I like that NBC shows that. It's cool. It adds to the aura. You're showing player intros. You're showing the intro theme for each team, the crowd, whatever. It's all cool. The player introductions for both teams. But it's like, dude, this game was supposed to start 15 minutes ago, and we're quickly approaching midnight, right? So that was kind of my gripe. Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN for Fox News. I like my logic here. I like my thinking. Didn't happen, but I like that. ESPN begs Skip Bayless to return. Did this not happen? Did they not kind of tease Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith reunion? Can somebody please confirm that in the chat? I swear I remember that being a thing. They didn't? I don't know if I believe you, so I'm counting this as a soft win. He got in legal trouble. Before the legal trouble. Was that legal trouble this year? Before the legal trouble, I swear that it was kind of rumored. You vaguely remember? That's all I need to hear. Soft win for me. Massive college sports betting scandal. I don't know about that, but there was a big-time NBA one, so we'll throw this into the gray area. New All-Star Game format ends up being a huge success. No.
Tough.
Well, that one's a miss. And that was just me being an NBA hole and just thinking the league will figure this out at some point. Jazz win the lottery. Never been more happy to be wrong about something. Boom. Okay, here we go. Calendar year of 2025 is crazy in terms of star movement. Well, it was. It was. Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Durant, Zion, Brandon Ingram are all on new teams by the end of 2025. Well, there's still some time here for Zion. But Jimmy Butler, yes. Fox, yes. KD, yes. BI, yes. So I'll count that as a win. I mean, that wasn't that crazy of a prediction, though, at the time. Stretch, Domantas Sabonis, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, LeBron James. None of those guys are on new teams. What was I thinking with Embiid? Who the fuck's going to trade for him? Bucks lose early in the playoffs? Oh, Bucks lose early in the playoffs. Giannis trade rumors ramp up again, but the Bucks make panic trade. Thanasis is made assistant coach. So Thanasis is back with the org because last year he was not on their team. He is back on the team. And yeah, this is a win for me, 100%. Panic trade. It wasn't really a trade necessarily, but the wave and stretching of Dame to bring in Miles Turner, that counts as a panic move. Yeah, there you go. Panic move. Warriors asked Steph Curry if he wants to be traded, but he says no, that did not happen. Mavericks had third star in the summer. Well, we got to count this one as a W, chat. Mavericks add third star in the summer. I think this counts as a win. And maybe it's a monkey paw moment, but it counts as a win in my books. It counts as, I'm counting this one as a win. It didn't happen the way I thought it would, but they did do it. They have, I would say 3 star level players on their team now. Only one's usually playing at a time, but Rockets add lead guard in the summer. No, they didn't really do that, but they did add KD, but I'll count that. I'll put this in the gray area for me. Gray area. Spurs make massive trade during the summer. Finish November as a top 2 seed in the West. Whoa. Is that right? I think that's right, the second part. Would we say they made a big trade, though? They didn't really. I mean, they went out and got Luke Cornett, which was a nice addition for them, but no, sizable move. I'll count this as a soft win. I saw the vision from a mile away. Soft win right there. Calvin Booth and Michael Malone are fired. Wow. Big W. Got that one 100% right. Vibes in Minnesota start to feel really bad. Reports of player only meetings. Someone punches Rudy Gobert accidentally, but it makes headlines. I don't really know what that means. No, the vibes honestly aren't bad at all there. They made the Western Conference Finals again. Anthony Edwards was shit-talking Lakers fans. That's an L. They've actually, vibes are good. I was about to say, they've actually kind of surprised me in terms of how good their vibes have remained, all things considered. So that counts as an L for me. Zion Williamson is a Miami Heat. Again, we got a couple days. I'm not ready to count this as an L just yet, guys. We've got 48 hours to go. This is an L, obviously. LeBron James announced he wants to play with Bryce James. Well, actually the opposite happened. Kind of hard, right? When your dad, like, think about this, guys. You're a Bryce James. Okay. Your dad is probably the greatest NBA player of all time, at least of the last 30 years. And your dad made a whole song and dance about he wants to play with his son, Bronny James. Did Bronny James deserve to get drafted? No. Is Bronny James maybe the worst NBA player in the league? Yes. Doesn't matter. LeBron wanted to play with him. Bryce James comes. Could get drafted this year. He's draft eligible. LeBron says, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Bryce's timeline is, so I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, though. It's fucked up. That really is. That really is messed up on a fatherly level. Still no word on expansion. I'm going to count this as a win just because there is no word on expansion, even though the word has been bad. Bill Simmons signs deal with Amazon. Does Netflix count? I don't think Netflix counts. But, wait, isn't Zach Lowe on Amazon? He's on Amazon now, isn't he? Wait, is Zach Lowe on Amazon or NBC? Which one does he go on every now and then? I'm pretty sure it's Amazon. He's a contributor for Amazon. All right, I'm counting this as a W. LaMelo Ball accidentally runs over fan's foot, leaving stadium, vows to grow up, is on the cover of NBA 2K26. So I don't know. The 2K26 part is wrong, but did he run over somebody this past, in the last calendar year? Do we know if he's hit somebody with his vehicle? Because I'm not ready to count this as a full loss just yet. We still have a lot of time. So, not the cover athlete of 2026, unfortunately. Why the fuck did I think that was going to happen? He did. Wait, he did. No, he hit somebody a long time ago, I thought. He did run over a fan's foot. Okay, then we're going to count that as a massive W for me then. A lot of players change teams, but no teams completely tear their roster down besides maybe the Kings. Trying to think now. In the last 12 months, has anybody like torn down the roster? No, I don't count the Celtics. Well, the Mavs, what I mean tear down, I mean like what the Nets did a few years ago.
Phoenix.
But they still have Book, though. I'm going to count this as a gray area because the Kings didn't tear anything down, hilariously enough. NFL announces games every day of the week on Christmas week marks the beginning of the end. So this did not happen, but I do think the NFL is reaching the beginning of the end. So I'll count this as gray area as well. We're fed up, guys. We're fed up with the MNFL. We're not standing for it. We're standing against it. We are the vanguard party against the NFL and evil man, whatever his name is, Roger Goodell. We are no longer standing for it. We are opposing you. Christmas is NBA's day. Stay out of it. Who even was the quarterback? I don't even remember their names, dude. Josh Johnson on the Washington team, and then who the fuck was it? Can anybody off the top of their head name the Chiefs quarterback who just played on Thursday night on Christmas? How many? Who can do it right now without Googling it? Okongwu? Onyeka Okongwu's brother? Okalawan? What was his name? Nobody even knows it.
I dare you to pronounce it correctly if someone gets it.
No one's going to get it. That's the thing. You just fell into my trap. Trent Green? No. He's an offensive lineman, I'm pretty sure. No. Exactly my point. Okay. Phillip Rivers. No. He's in the NFL, though. Ime Udoka gets into a verbal altercation with opposing players during playoffs. I can't remember off the top of my head if this happened or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and mark this as a win. Because I feel like it did happen. Aladukan. Khan. Got it. Point proven, though.
Nailed it.
Mark Cuban's. Oh, wow. This is my last prediction from last year. Mark Cuban's phasing out from ownership becomes ugly, barely at games to start the 25-26 season. I actually think the opposite of this happened. I think he's actually more involved now than he was when I made this doc. So I'll actually count this as an L. But all in all, though, pretty spot-on prediction. Pretty spot-on predictions, I would say. Especially like my actual NBA takes. Ended up panning out quite well. All right, so with that being said, 2026 is going to be a much better year. I don't know if we were recording or not on Locked On last night, but Isaac asked me, can 2026 be worse for the Dallas Mavericks than 2025? And I was like, I don't want to definitively say an answer because I don't want to put any energy into the universe, but almost certainly seems impossible for the answer to that question to be yes without an aviation incident. Like, that's all I'll say. I won't say specifically, but that's really where we're at, okay? And again, knock on wood, I don't even want to put that into the universe. To be fair, the last prediction, Cuba did spend 6 months running a press tour about how he wasn't involved with the Mavs' decision this year. Yeah, but this was before the Luka trade, actually. I'm going to change that into the gray area. I forgot that this was before Luka trade. So honestly, kind of a nice dub by me. I'll take it. A lot of gray area ones here. That could easily count as wins, guys, but that's not how I like to play. Okay. Wasn't there a prediction of Stephen A. Smith running for president or something? No. My prediction was Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN for Fox News. And my thought process was that's kind of a launching point for him in his bid for presidency in 2028. But don't worry, I've got something coming up here for that. 2026 goals and predictions. Here we go. Woo! I'm pumped about this one. My goal this year is to hit all of these. So my personal goal is to hit all personal goals. Okay? Stop getting rage baited. Now, this one's probably the most difficult one here, but I think I can do it. If I lock in enough, I think I can avoid getting rage baited as much as I currently get rage baited. Time will tell, though. Time will tell. Get the Shea memes ready. He ain't getting that first one. That's not a loss, dude. And by the way, I have 48 hours to get rage baited as much as I want. This starts New Year's Day. So for the next 24 plus hours, you guys can rage bait me all you want, and it doesn't count. After that, though, we lock in. No more rage baiting. YouTube, 50,000 subscribers. We're going for this one again. Problem was I only made like 5 videos this year. I looked back on that and couldn't fucking believe it. I barely made any videos on my channel this year. Looking to change that this year. We're shooting for 1 video a week, at the very least. At the very least, 1 video per week. Decided by Sean Haymaker becomes one of the best basketball shows on the internet. In a lot of ways, it already is. But, you know, as we continue to work and get better, more guests come on, we improve the program a little bit, I think it's only going to continue to blossom into the best show. I mean, I don't even know why I'm limiting it to the internet, but that's right. Becomes that one's honestly just like, hey guys, that right there is me already knowing this is one of the best shows on the internet, but I'm setting it up for an easy win at the end of the year. That way I can just check it green. You guys get what I'm saying? There you go. Keep working with Bleacher Report is another one of my personal goals. I've been working with them for a couple years now. I enjoy working for them. So let's keep it going. Let's keep that partnership working. Focus on short form content. So is TikTok even going to exist in December of 2026? I mean, who the fuck knows, right? But I need to do better about making shorter content. And then on top of that, like, I don't know why I have succumbed to this thing where every video I do make on the Slightly Biased channel, on this channel, has to be multiple hours long. I need to stop doing that. I'm not sure why I do that. I'm not sure I did. I'm not sure why I do that. Does anyone remember when Slightly Biased didn't pre-recorded shows? So guys, this is in a couple of days from now, I wouldn't even respond to this, right? But since rage baiting doesn't come into effect in the next couple of days, I can openly say it's not pre-recorded. Shut up. So there you go. No. I know. I'm giving you 48 hours for the rage baiting. Collab with 2 to 3 creators a week. I'm just gonna tell you right now, this one ain't happening, but we're gonna try it out. I'll just tell you right now, this one's not gonna work. But sure, Grow Fully Delusional. That's the merch shop. That's gonna happen. I'm telling you that much. Healthfully down to 220. So you'll notice I changed it from 215 to 220. 215 is just not attainable with this build and this amount of muscle mass. Like, it's just 215 can't happen, knock on wood, unless an illness occurs. So for me, it's just not happening. Okay? It's just not happening. He's entering the stage of his life where the target weight grows by 5 a year. Oh. That's pretty fucking funny. Fully recovered from gruesome ankle injury in the most impressive way that they have ever seen. Now, partially this is already a win, but we are still continuing our recovery process as we approach the 6-month mark, now 7th month mark. So yeah, and improved net worth from 325 million to 750 million. You know, we'll see. I have a couple things in the works that could knock this out in the coming weeks. So time will tell on that front. 260 to 220. I'm not 260 pounds, dude. Are you joking? 24 hours. That's all you have is 24 hours. That's all you got. All right, here come my predictions. SGA becomes only the second unanimous MVP winner. Go ahead. What are you guys going to say to me now in the chat? Huh? What now? What now? Next. Donald Trump makes an appearance on First Take. Stephen A. Smith continues to soft launch political career. So this is kind of where I was going. Stephen A. Smith, I do think, is ramping up a political career at some point. And what that means, I don't know. I don't know if that means he actually runs for office in some capacity, or he angles towards getting just a massively fat payday from like Fox News or CNN or something. But yes, this is it. The year's 2040, guys. We are going to get down to a healthy 300. No chance. No chance. Whenever they do that UFC fight at the White House, 100% will happen. Yeah, so was Donald Trump recently was on Pat McAfee's show, correct? So I think it absolutely will happen. How do you guys think that's going to go? What do you think they're going to talk about on there? Like, what do you think they have a LeBron Jordan debate? I'm actually curious. Frankly, I think Jordan is the best player I've ever seen, but nobody's quite as good as a Larry Legend. Both the Thunder and the Spurs make shockingly big trade deadline moves. So this is one of my big predictions. I think the Thunder make a trade deadline trade. I think maybe their little rut over the last couple of weeks, just a pretty standard thing for any NBA team. But I think it has shown that they do have some, and glaring might be a little bit harsh, but they do have some fairly sizable weaknesses that can be exposed that they have the assets to shore up. And whether that's they go out and get a legitimate 3-point sniper, or they go out and get a legitimate second ball handler that can come off the bench or start in a pinch. I don't know. But I do think they make a sizable trade. I think the Spurs do as well. I think the Spurs kind of look at what they've done. They look at their wins over OKC, and they might think to themselves, dude, we could win the finals right now. And maybe we don't have to tap into every single one of our assets, right? But Trey Murphy, can we get something like that? Wow, LeBron, not the greatest. He's so terrible. We've never seen a bigger baby in the league. He's such a baby, folks. A big baby. We call him La China. He loves China. Trey Murphy to the Spurs. I'm planting my flag on this one. I'm planting my Cooper flag on this one. Both teams make it to the Western Conference Finals. So we get a Spurs-Thunder Western Conference Finals matchup. Denver is the 5 seed. So my prediction is in the next month or so, they drop enough games to find themselves in the 4-5 range. Meet the Thunder in the second round, and we get another 7-game slugfest. Now, obviously, since I picked the Thunder to make the conference finals, and that means I think the Thunder win. But Denver Thunder, round 2, part 2. Another slugfest, another all-time classic. 7 games. What do you guys think about that? I love it. Okay, so last year I tried to do the NBA hole. I love the NBA. Everything's perfect. The All-Star game is going to get fixed. We're just ditching that entirely. All-Star game sucks ass. Again, NBA seriously considers just completely getting rid of it and replacing it with Cup Final. Yeah. I think we're probably approaching the end of the All-Star game. I think that the vibes around it are so negative. Obviously, like, it's fun to have it, and they'll probably figure out a way to incorporate an All-Star weekend. But it'll almost certainly get swapped, would be my guess. Like, that weekend then becomes a showcase for the NBA Cup. Would be what I guess ends up happening. And the All-Star game just becomes kind of like a sideshow. Because, I mean, it's just reached a horrible point. And maybe this year with the World versus USA stuff, maybe there's a little bit added oomph. But, dog, I've watched Luka play in these games. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. In most shocking trade move of the year, the Bucks, instead of trading Giannis, trade for Trae Young in a last-ditch effort to placate Giannis. Interested to hear what you guys have to think about this one. Because I've tried to think of potential Trae Young destinations. It's hard to think of. You need an uber-desperate team. Who needs a guard? And who's more desperate than this Bucks team? Who's more desperate? I'm not even sure how it works, really. But, okay, I was thinking about this. Let's just say the reality probably is Trae Young's market's pretty trash. So you probably don't need to give up much to get him. For Atlanta, they're probably looking at this like, yeah, we just need like maybe one asset, and that's it. We don't want to have to worry about paying him or whatever. For Milwaukee, you can look at it as, all right, we'll get a guard to pair next to Giannis, and those two can play off of each other. And if the time comes where we do trade Giannis, at least we have Trae Young here. Like, at least we have that to market them and to push, because they don't own their picks. So, like, them being horrid just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying they'll be good or anything like that, but at least gives them something to market, right? Atlanta has the Bucks pick, though. They would want the Bucks to lose Giannis. I think they hold on to that, though. That's the ultimate chip to get Giannis. Do the Bucks have the contracts? I think Kuzma is making such a gross amount of money that it does get you somewhat close. Let me look. NBA trade machine. I should have looked at this before, but I mean, they do have the salaries to go out and get like a decently sized salary guy. But then the question becomes like, are these salaries so gross? Like, why the fuck would Atlanta even entertain that? And that becomes the actual question. Like, let's see. They have Miles Turner at 25 and Kuzma at 22. The problem, though, is Trae and picks for Bronny. Hell yeah. The problem, though, is like that Turner contract is probably horrid. So you'd probably have to find a third team. I don't know, though. Something to think about. Something to consider. Would the Bucks do that? Like, if it were Kuzma, because the Bucks have some far out firsts. So Kuzma, Miles Turner, and like a far out first, which could be very valuable to the Hawks for Trae. And maybe the Hawks view it as, okay, we'll take another one of your picks, but we're ready for that Giannis phone call when it happens. We're ready for it. Would you do 80 for Trae if we get the Pelicans pick this year? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. For sure. And I just wouldn't pay Trae. That's it. Or I'd flip him immediately. All right, next. ESPN gets lapped so bad in its playoff coverage by Amazon and NBC, they have no choice but to dramatically reshape their NBA coverage. So this might be sort of coping on my end. This might be some hopium on my end. I do think ESPN is currently getting lapped so bad by Amazon and NBC. They're just so much better to the point where, I don't know if you guys even noticed this, but they had Inside the NBA on Christmas, and like, they did that kind of funny bit where Shaq ran through the TV. It just didn't hit. It just really didn't hit the same. There's just something off. And I feel like people look at Amazon and NBC's coverage, and they're just going to be like, dude, what's going on? How is this so much better? So much better than ESPN that they'll have almost no choice but to make a dramatic change in how they broadcast the sport. Well, yeah, it was obviously planned, but I'm so out on Inside the NBA. It's been going on several years too long. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's off because Disney ESPN culture, they lectured Charles about what he can and cannot say. Also, their schedule is so weird. They're barely on. It's a little bizarre. Celtics turn into a powerhouse by the time the playoffs get here. Finish as the 2 seed. Trade for a center. Tatum comes back. So I've been feeling this way watching Eastern Conference teams so far this year. I do think that the Knicks are the cream of the crop out east. The Pistons, obviously, I think are still the 1 seed, but they've had the easiest schedule in the league up until now. You watch them play, they're in a bit of a rut. They just don't scream legit playoff contender to me. But the Celtics do. Because part of it is like I've seen them do it. And that's not necessarily fair to the Pistons, but I've seen them do it. I've seen Jaylen Brown do it. I've seen Derek White do it. And if Tatum does come back by, March and he's able to ramp up by the playoff time, that's a horrifying team. With the additions of Hugo and how Jordan Walsh has played this year, how Cade has played this year, how Jaylen Brown's played this year. If they get another big at the deadline, which they have to do that. Luka Garza has been all right at times. Like, I like when they can go small with Minot and Walsh. That's all cool. They run around like maniacs. But like they actually need, and I'm even a little bit worried about Cade in the playoffs, to be honest with you. If they can figure out a way to get a big, they're serious. Imagine the Hawks make the win now AD trade because they think the East is open and the Celtics get back to being a juggernaut. That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny. But I think behind the Knicks, the Celtics are the team in the Eastern Conference right now. Jaylen Brown says he plans on streaming with Aiden Ross. Joe Mazzulla threatens to kill him with his bare hands. Jaylen Brown makes first team All-NBA and finishes second in MVP voting. Yeah, the Celtics are a potential gaff team. I think the Celtics could go after like Zubac. Like, they can make a big move. That could happen. But yeah, Jaylen Brown's been streaming quite a bit. We kind of know this pipeline. Aiden Ross is waiting for that phone call. I think the Celtics organization would actually maybe even kill Jaylen Brown before he gets on that stream. So we'll see. But I actually think Jaylen Brown, as it stands right now, almost certainly a first-team All-NBA guy. If he's not, then he's got a great argument for it. And if the Celtics, if my prediction holds, and the Celtics do finish as a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, I think he could finish top 2 in MVP voting. Because I think it'll almost be kind of ceremonial, right? Like, Shai's, if things hold, Shai stays healthy, like, he's going to probably win the MVP unanimously. So the second place vote just kind of becomes like hat tip to Jaylen Brown. Cavaliers suffer another playoff defeat. Vibes are dreadful. Kenny Atkinson fired. Darius Garland traded. Jarrett Allen traded. So it feels like we're steamrolling towards this. They have been playing better basketball as of late. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of clear and obvious where this thing's headed. It would be kind of funny, though, if the year they have a shitty regular season with horrible vibes is the year they actually kind of put it together for the playoffs. But we even still see in games like the Christmas Day game where it's like, dude, Jarrett Allen's just not built for this. He's not built for this level of contention. Okay? Just not built for it. So, something to think about. And here's my kind of big, bold prediction here. I do think the Cavs are the Anthony Davis team. It makes the most sense in my brain. They check a lot of boxes for me. I do kind of think, while trade talks are heating up, it is very interesting to me that the Hawks are being named, and it's getting so hot that it's like not only are the Hawks named, but specific players are being named. When you get to that point, shit gets a little bit weird, and there's obviously some talks with AD and the Hawks. But I really do feel like, one, I do think the Mavs want to, and honestly, I think they're right. I think they owe it to themselves to see AD, Kyrie, and Cooper Flag play. We're 5 or 6 weeks away from the trade deadline. So Kyrie's going to have to be coming back pretty soon for that to happen. And if you are thinking about trading AD, but you still want to see that trio together, like Kyrie would have to come back in the next week or two for you to get enough of a sample size to go off of. So part of that is why I'm like, I bet they end up not doing anything. But also, they don't have a fucking GM. Like, they don't have a general manager. So every time the AD stuff comes up, I'm like, yeah, but who's making the trade? Now, maybe that person's already in the organization, and I'll get to that in a second. But I just feel like with no GM there, I feel like they almost certainly won't make a big trade like that. That would be my prediction. But I do think it could happen in the summer. And this makes a lot of sense to me because the Cavs will almost certainly need to be changing up their looks. It sounds like they're almost soft launching. Darius Garland getting traded. So there you go. But your new team would be Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, AD, LeBron. Because in this scenario, LeBron goes back on a mid-level. It's a pretty fucking good team. That's pretty good. I don't know what that trade would look like for the Mavs, but still. Warriors flame out in the playoffs again. Draymond gets traded. Warriors ask Steph if he wants to stay. He says yes. So I'm going back to this. This Warriors team's obviously pretty mid. They're not going to win anything in the playoffs. Do the Warriors feel like they owe it to Steph Curry to at least ask? Do you want to go out there? Do you want to see what's out there for you? You're getting that age. You're still incredible. Just think he's a lifer. Bill Simmons always brings up the Charlotte idea, and it's like, why would Steph want that? I have never understood this. It's like, why on earth would Steph want to play in Charlotte? Does he care that much? Has he not spent more years of his life in the Bay by now? Like, I don't understand that. Player movement isn't as crazy as last year. So, infamously, I said that, and we'll power through the rest of these. Infamously, last year I said the trade deadline would be boring, and Luka Doncic got traded. So we'll see. Here are players I think will be on new teams by the end of the year: Trae Young, Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, LeBron, Darius Garland. Just think those guys will get traded. Now remember, the players I predicted to get traded last year, only one did not. So players who might be on new teams by the end of the year: Kawhi, Harden. I think it's possible. Kawhi, man, telling you, I'd be making some phone calls. Bold. Paolo. Think about it. Do the Magic say, let's get out of this? Let's get out of this while we can. Let's get out of it. Nets win the lottery. I've been watching them lately. I watched their game against the Warriors last night. Dude, they play well. I think they kind of deserve it from the basketball karma perspective. I think the Nets kind of deserve it. They play a good brand of basketball. They lock in defensively. They've got some really interesting young role players. If they can land a top-end guy in this draft, that accelerates their rebuild so fast to the point where they could be good pretty quickly. But also watching the Jazz. I love Keontae George. The Jazz, I think, need a two-way demon. They really lack something like that. But man, if the Nets could get Darren Peterson or AJ DeBonza, Igor Dioman looks like Klay Thompson reincarnated. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Another low odd team moves into the top 3, sparking outrage. Hopefully the Mavericks. NBA announces major lottery changes. Teams can no longer move from outside the top 4 to inside the top 3 in consecutive years. I meant to say top 4 instead of top 3. But teams cannot move from outside the top 4 to inside the top 4 in consecutive years. This seems like the easiest fix for the lottery. This seems like it makes it the most fair. no reason to the NBA fixes the lottery rules. Big jumps is what defers tanking. The problem is, though, is like there, and I kind of agree with you. I had this stance a couple days ago where it's like, dude, everybody's mad about tanking. What you're mad at is the NBA draft. You're mad at drafts existing. Because as long as there is a draft system that rewards being at the bottom, and that gives you either the best pick in the draft or that gives you a good chance of getting the best pick in the draft, teams are going to take advantage of that. So there's no way around it. If a draft exists, there is simply no way to avoid tanking. It will happen. And I do kind of think, and I agree with you here, 214. And the reason why I added this is not that I think it's necessarily a great idea, but that I think it is the easiest way to fix and sort of, calm down fans, is what happens when a team says, oh man, currently we have the 5th best odds to win the lottery, but we jumped into the top 4 last year. So we have to lose the next 10 games to get ourselves that 4 spot. That way we don't have to worry about getting punished in this draft. Then what happens? You're going to see tanking that's even worse than now. So there's an easy fix to this. If you think tanking is that big of a problem because of the draft, there is a fix. It's either flattening odds entirely. There's no more lottery. Every team, 30 teams, every team gets the same exact chance to win the lottery. Or we're going to a European soccer system and we're getting rid of the draft. We don't think NFL and the teams in the NFL don't tank. No. The NFL teams tank 100%. Go look at the list of quarterbacks who are playing on a week-to-week basis at this point in the NFL season. You can't even name fucking 15 of them. They're tanking. I get so annoyed when people only shit on the NBA. It's like, dude, every team tanks, bro. I can't speak on the NHL because I don't know. But NBA, tank. NFL, organizations tank, bro. Max Crosby's posting pictures of him jumping on a fucking trampoline because the Raiders shut him down because they said his knee hurt. And he had to post pictures of him playing basketball to be like, nah, my knee doesn't hurt, by the way, guys. Just letting you know. Like, give me a break. Okay? It's just, people cry about it, the NBA all the time, that it's just a continuous thing. Whatever. It's perfectly fine as it is. Yeah, I really don't think it's as big of a problem as people say it is. Now, come March, yeah, it definitely gets bad. Don't get me wrong. Come March, I agree with you 100%. The NBA kind of reaches a sort of weird, unwatchable state. I was at that Mavs-Raptors game last game of the season, sitting courtside, right next to the players. I was sitting courtside. And when I was there sitting courtside at the game, one of the things I really noticed whenever I was sitting courtside was, again, like right on the floor, right next to the players, like right at half court. Like literally right there. Like I literally was on the wood. One of the things I noticed was I couldn't even name you 6 players that were playing for the Raptors. Like AJ Lawson was running around out there. And God bless him. I was courtside. Yeah, I was courtside. NBA announces changes to 65-game rule after Jokic and Wemby fail to qualify. This feels like a shoo-in to happen. I'm not even sure the 65-game rule improves anything at all. So I think this almost certainly happens. Just because Wemby needs to miss, 6 more games? I think the Spurs would be a little bit stupid not to be careful with him as much as possible. And Jokic almost certainly will not qualify. So they're gonna change this. They're gonna change this completely, would be my guess. NFL teams tank after 3 games of losing, just no one cares if a team sucks. Yeah, that's really it. It's like NFL games are once a week, and it is what it is. You don't really care about it. NBA teams, it's just like they play. If you tank the second half of the season, that's 40 games of unwatchable garbage. To be fair, yeah, that's not good. Trailblazers make a crazy all-in trade in the summer. Kind of just my vibe with them. Dame will be coming back. I don't know if that factors into their decision-making, but like with Denny blossoming into this player he is, they're clearly not good enough right now. They're not in really a position to like tank or be bad and in hopes of getting a young guy. So I think that they look at their situation and say, all right, we need to get the best talent we could get. Are you advocating for the 65 rule change after going through your ankle injury? And the thing is I came back in plenty enough time to qualify. Like they said it was impossible. They said it would never happen. I came back in plenty enough time to qualify for the 65 game rule. I'm just, I'm out on it. God forbid the NBA, you ask a player to play 80% of the games. Well, I think part of the thing is people are going to start being like, is Wemby really not going to win Defensive Player of the Year? Like, there's nobody who's even remotely close to him in terms of defensive impact. If Wemby plays 61 games, are we seriously not going to give him the award? I think that's like, if Jokic plays 62 games, is he really not going to be voted as one of the 5 best players in the league? Is that like really? That's where it kind of falls apart. Right? Jazz make 2 to 3 win now trades in the summer. So this kind of, maybe they get some lottery luck. Maybe they, hopefully they keep their pick and the Thunder don't get it. And they get another young guy to pair alongside Ace Bailey, Keontae George, a lot of these young dudes they have. I could see them making some trades to try and be a little bit more competitive. It wouldn't surprise me that much. They've been rebuilding for a little bit now. It might be time for them to go for it. The only thing I would say is, like, I still don't feel like they have their guy just yet. Maybe Keontae George is blossoming into that. I don't know. Still no NBA expansion announcement. Relocation talks heat up big time. So it seems almost impossible that Vegas will not have a team, or Seattle will not have a team in the next 10 years. But there's been absolutely zero expansion talks. Do relocation talks heat up? Memphis? Sorry. New Orleans? Sorry. Clippers get what's basically a slap on the wrist punishment for the Kawhi scandal. Did anybody else forget this happened? I'm not going to lie, I did. I think it's definitely possible that this almost gets like swept under the rug completely.
Has it not already?
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much has. But at some point, people are going to be like, hey, is something going to come from this? Like, I almost feel like a nothing punishment is worse than no punishment at all. So I think that's almost what happens. Take away Clippers pick if it's top 10 and goes to OKC. That's smart. We should do that. If Wemby can't play 65 games, maybe he doesn't deserve it. I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, if the award is voting on Defensive Player of the Year, Wemby, so in like an MVP race that's as tight as this, yeah, I get it. Like, Jokic missed X amount of games, Shea didn't. There's a swing. That makes total sense. When it's Defensive Player of the Year and it's like, dude, there's not really a close second to Wemby. There's not anybody who in the league who even comes close to matching that defensive impact. It feels a little goofy if he misses the mark by like 4 games. You know what I mean? If it's close, yeah, I get it. Like, availability should come up. NBA's betting scandal gets even bigger. So obviously you have the Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups. Are they still in jail? What's going on there? I don't know. I think this kind of continues to grow and gets worse. This feels like it's an actual big shit stain on the league that we haven't even really gotten into. But as like evidence comes out and some of these guys start going to court, it's going to be bad. And Jason Kidd is my last big one. Jason Kidd is announced as the new GM of the Dallas Mavericks. Sean Sweeney returns as the new head coach. I'm planting my flag on this hill. This is what I think is going to happen. I'm not like 100% certain. I need the people to understand, because I keep saying this and people think it's because I have like some serious inside information. I have heard this from a couple people, but it's more them just sort of bouncing it around. But it was the fact that I've heard it multiple times from people where I'm like, okay, that's a little bit weird. But it's what I think will happen. It makes sense. I think that they're kind of hush-hush on some of this stuff because they already know who their GM is going to be. And I think it's going to be Kill Kid. Do with that information what you will. Do with that information what you will. All right, so those are my predictions. Let's see how good we do this year. Give us a baseball prediction. A giant meteor strikes San Francisco Bay Area during a Giants game. Why is Kid even in consideration? He's wanted to be a general manager for his whole career. Look back to some of his maneuvering moves in Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Okay. My throat's
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not okay. Mark Stein's not in my group chat, by the way. Just letting you know. Anyways, thank you all for coming out today, guys. Okay. Fun show. I love doing the prediction stuff. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy it. I love doing shit like this, honestly. And I love looking back on it. So thank you guys for coming out. San Francisco outfield's pretty big too. Yeah. If you were to, like, just statistically speaking, if a meteor were to hit any MLB stadium's outfield, like, San Francisco is one of the biggest ones. So statistically speaking, it'd be that one, right? Tomorrow, big show. Nick and Isaac will be here. I think what I want to do is I want to make, since it's, you guys, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but tomorrow's New Year's Eve and January 1st is in 2 days. So tomorrow, I think what I want to do, and if you guys have better ideas in the chat, I'm all for it. I think I want to make a little timeline of things that happen with the Mavs January 1st onwards, and we'll just kind of walk through it and talk it out. Because, my God, it's been an insane year. I wasn't planning on doing that, and then Isaac kind of mentioned it last night. I was like, that would be pretty funny. That would be pretty hilarious. So thank you guys for coming out. I love you all. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, both Slightly Biased channel and the Haymaker Network. Link in my description if you're watching this over on Slightly Biased. Yes, I have met Isaac in person. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same exact time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then the New Year's gets here. Trade season ramps up. It's going to be a great time here at Haymaker Network, folks. Great time. Thank you all. Love you.
Who's it gonna be? This is Lamar! Oh my God! My brain's gonna explode. My brain's gonna explode. There's something sinister afoot. Absolutely.